Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to find answers to 3 questions. Number 1 is, can we actually control our environment with our thoughts? Now we use a lot of devices. Can we control those devices, your phones, your laptop, other electronic items? Just thinking about it. Is there a technology available which can help us do so? If yes, how trustworthy and safe is it? Can we do so today? Can we buy it right now? I'll try to find answers to those questions in today's My Point of View. So stay tuned. Before we start, can I ask the new viewers to click on the subscribe button below to be part of the community and to get the updates fast. As a human, we all like to control and at least influence the environment that we live in. Okay, so we want, with our thoughts you can change someone, if we can control and somebody does a work just based on this. Now there are a number of technology which are in research at this point of time, but there is one technology that we're going to talk about today, and in today's special we're going to talk about brain-machine interface. We're going to define it in a little bit more, but let's talk about the primary benefit of that technology before we start. Now with this technology, people are allowed, or rather they are empowered to actually control devices such as your phones, your laptop, or other electronic items which are connected to this device. It is very useful right now for the medical world because there are patients who are paralyzed and they need this kind of technology to be able to manipulate using their thoughts. Okay. Now this technology is still at a very nascent stage, and it would require more research, and people are actually working on it to make it more useful for the common people. Now one thing to be noted is today we can control only few machines and few devices, but as we progress we would be able to control a lot more devices, just like the X-Men. Okay. Now we're going to talk more about it. Let's first talk about how we can define this. Now in one of my earlier videos on artificial intelligence and machine learning, I talked about how mankind needs to improve themselves, needs to evolve so that we can actually take on the machines once AI and the robotics becomes more advanced and they become more and more self-determined and they try to compete against humanity. That's where this kind of technology would come into play once it progresses more. Now let's look forward to defining what is a brain-machine interface. Now brain-machine interface is a direct communication between the brain and its connected devices. It can be a phone, it can be a robotic arm or a robotic device or your laptop or some other machine where it's programmed to. Now brain-machine interface is also known as mind-machine interface. We all have heard about neural networks, so it is also called direct neural communication. So there are some of the names and some of the synonyms available in the market, but all say the same thing. Now let's look at a little bit about history to understand it more, when it started and where actually the research is going on. Back in 1970s, University of California, Los Angeles started researching on brain-machine interface. So for many years the research was done on animals, and somewhere in 1990s, somewhere mid-1990s, it was actually experimented on a human. Now recent developments in artificial intelligence and machine learning, and there are various other technologies, have actually enabled a growth in this particular man-machine collaboration. So research in this work is also going quite far and on a fast pace now, and we can soon have some of the good news coming in. One news that we have heard and you must be aware of is about Neuralink, which the renowned Elon Musk, the technocrat, has come up with. So it's all over on the news. I can make a video if you want me to, but I think you can just Google and you can find more about it. So they're still researching on it, and they're about to actually looking forward to control the machines using our mind. So it's a kind of chip which they're going to plant it onto our head. Mind-machine interface can be broadly classified into three types. Number one is invasive. Now, what is invasive? Invasive is where actually they operate on your brain and they implant a chip, the electrodes which can pick up direct signals from your brain. They implant it within your brain, and from there it gets the signals to actually process and take in the commands. Now, you would be alarmed that it is actually getting into your brain. So how safe is that? You're absolutely correct. There is a medical condition which comes in case your body treats it as a foreign object and does not accept it. Okay, but the good part about this category is it is very accurate because it is actually picking up signals directly from the brain. The second one is called partially invasive. So in partially invasive, the implant, the electrodes which picks up the signals, is not actually implanted within your brain. It is somewhere implanted between your skull and in your brain, somewhere in the middle, so that it is still more accurate than the third category that we're going to talk about, but it is a little bit safer than the invasive, where you actually put it inside your brain. Now, in the third category, it's a non-invasive, which means there's no surgery required. It's not put within your brain, but it's something which you can wear on top of your head or something, and it picks up signals from there. Now, the good part is there's no surgery required. But the learning part is actually it's not that accurate in terms of picking up the signals from the brain. So that's where it needs to be more accurate. And research is on. Sooner or later, we're going to have good news that this is something which we can do it safely, we can do it more widely, and we can control machines more and efficiently, a lot more of them. Okay. Now, my point of view on this is these are the technology which are actually going to be very, very helpful to humanity, because if we can control machines, nothing like it. We can live an efficient life, a better life. But research is still on. There are a lot of challenges to accomplish, to take care of, but there are some of the good things are happening. And one such good news came very recently from Elon Musk. Now, he came up with a brain chip that is called Neuralink. Like I said before, you can just Google, you can find a lot more about Neuralink. So it's basically a brain-machine interface that they're trying to accomplish. They've done the initial few research on pigs, on using animals, and they have been quite a positive result. And they're going to actually looking forward to do it on human, and they're trying to get some kind of concurrence, a go-ahead to do so. Now, personally, I think this should be done. This has a lot of medical value. This is something which is good for us in the evolution of mankind artificially, which I talked about in my previous videos. And but still, there's a lot more that needs to be done. Given the amount of information available, we can only wish that it happens sooner than later. With this, I leave you. Till we meet next time, stay safe, and don't forget to subscribe to be part of the community. I will personally answer to all of you. Thank you.